This is the perfect RIA, in case you didn't know. Bringing you all the strategies to help your business grow. Are you happy? Are you satisfied? Are you hanging on the edge of your seat? Sit back and listen in while you feel the beat, yeah. Another myth bites the dust.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Perfect RIA Podcast Follow-Up Friday edition. I am your Follow-Up Friday segment host, Matthew Jarvis, coming to you live, recorded from Issaquah, Washington, working from my home office today. And in this week's episode, Micah and I talked about a question that we get all the time from advisors, which is, how do I best segment my clients? And of course, you can go back and listen to Monday's episode. While you're in there, be sure to give it 5 stars. But in the episode, we talked about that client segmentation is generally a bad idea because it leads to these different service levels, which are some variation of not your best work. In a perfect world, you will have one segment of clients, which are clients for whom you can do your best work. Now, it is possible that you're running 2 niches or 3 niches. Although rare, it can be done. But these things like ABC, gold, platinum, whatever terminology you want to use that our industry experts are throwing around all over the place, not a good approach. Ideally, you want to have, here are the clients that I'm best serving, and anyone who does not fit in that segment should be graduated or given an opportunity to come into that segment. Now, of course, there are some transition periods where you're moving up market, where you're graduating legacy clients, whatever the case may be. But the goal, the target is to say, this is with whom I work. These are the group of people that I can deliver the most value to. And so we came up with 3 primary action items. Actually, I've got 4 for you today, but 3 primary action items. Action item number 1 is be intentional. To whom can you deliver the most value? Where are you best serving your niche? For me, this is retirees that live in my geographical region that have between $1 to $3 million of investable assets. That's really who I work best with. If you're way outside of that on either end, I'm just not a good fit. I don't need a different segment for these people. They're just not a good fit for myself and my practice. So be intentional. Really have written down, this is with whom I work, very quantifiably, not vague things like nice people. I mean, that's important to have, but very specifically, this is where I do my best work, and just take those clients. This, of course, segments into action item number 2, which is define your ideal client. Really get down to dollars and cents. What is it about them that we can measure that has to happen for them to be an ideal client? And then as you look at that, this is action item number 3. When you have your ideal client, look and say, all right, how many of my existing clients fit this? And am I trying to justify, am I trying to make excuses for not having ideal clients by saying, well, they're a B client, they're a C client, they're a D client, they're a whatever? Because there's this illusion. And here's how you can tell when you're not working with your ideal client. You tell yourself and you tell other advisors, but hey, they don't take up that much time. But hey, they don't bother me that often. Number 1, that's probably not accurate. Unless you can tell me exactly how many minutes, exactly how many phone calls, because your CRM is tracking it, you probably don't have a good pulse on how much time it's taking you, right? So that's issue number 1. Issue number 2 with that, of course, is that every client can end your career. Every client is a bullet in the revolver of compliance. And the smaller the client, the less ideal the client, the more likely they are to file a complaint. And because they're your lower tier client, you're not giving them as much service. So when that complaint comes in, you may not have as much ground to stand on as you otherwise would. So as you look at that, as you're being intentional, as you're defining your ideal client, as you're making sure that your current clients meet that definition of your ideal clients, be really straightforward and say, great, this is who I will work with. This is who I will graduate. Now, if you're listening to this on the day that it airs, the Perfect RIA is currently accepting new Backstage Pass and Invictus members. If this is something you've been considering, if you're saying, boy, I would really love to have more access to Jarvis, myself, and Micah to transform, not grow, but transform my practice, visit theperfectria.com. And for just the next couple of days, we're accepting new members. This is something we only do a couple of times a year. So check that out. And of course, as always, if you have questions, concerns, suggestions for this podcast, send an email to lifestyle@theperfectria.com. And our great team members, Amber, Shelby, Mandy, Maya, Jamie, etc., will look to get that worked into the queue. Until next time.
Hold on before we go. Something that you need to know. This isn't tax, legal, or investment advice. That isn't our intent. Information designed to change lives. Financial planning can make you thrive. Start today, don't think twice. Be a better husband, father, mother, and wife.